for section 4.4. We're working on number 6 right now. You should have already tried it, and so that you can see if you got the right answer or understand it. It says that if the sum of a number and -3 is doubled, the result is half times the number. So the first thing I want to do is I want to give a variable to a number, and usually I say x or n, so I'm just going to call it n. So I said let the number equal n. So now whenever I see the number n, I'm going to put n. The second thing I told y'all, or I suggested you to do, is to go find that equal word, such as is, are, the result, kind of thing. So that means that this right here is my equal word. So what's on the right-hand side of it should be on the right-hand side of that equal sign. So I have my equal sign. I'm going to look over here. It says half times the number. What does times mean? Multiplication. So I'm going to say 1/2 times the number. What did we denote for the number? Would be n. So we have 1/2 n. On the left-hand side, we have, so I'm done with all this. I finished this. This is done. I don't need to even look at that anymore because that right there all came down to 1/2 n. On the left side here, I have if the sum of a number and -3 is doubled. Well, I need to take the sum first. The sum is telling me, and I recommend that y'all put in parentheses and put a little plus sign, and you're going to know where this plus sign is by the word and, or what the two things that you're adding is and. The plus sign does not mean and, or the and does not mean plus sign. The word sum tells you that you're going to add. The and tells you the two things you're going to add together. So I'm going to find the sum of what? A number and -3. So that goes in here, a number and -3. So now I have if the sum, right there, plus sign, of a number and -3, let me put another little parentheses around that because I don't like to have a plus sign and negative sign right next to each other, is doubled. What does that mean if you double something? If I have $5 and I double it, I have 10. If I have $10 and I double it, I have 20. That means I'm going to multiply it times 2. So I'm going to just multiply by 2, and then I can solve it. So this would be 2n minus 6 equals 1/2 n. We learned that in section, I think 4.3, we can get rid of that fraction by multiplying every term by 2. Because the least common denominator, this has a 1, that has a 1, that has a 2, would be 2. So I'm going to do that just because I want to reiterate that. 2 times 2 times 2. So this would be 4n minus 12 equals n. 2 and 2 cancel. So now it's a nice little simple equation. I subtract 4n, subtract 4n. I got to bring it over here, excuse me. And I have -12 equals -3n divided by -3. And we have 4 equals n. And I'm done. So the number is 4. Number is 4. All right. So let's go on to question number 8 and see how we do with that. Number 8. So now we're on to 8. It says the Mavericks outscored the Bulls by 23 points. If their combined score totaled 213 points, how many points did each team score? Okay. All right. So we have the Mavericks and we have the Bulls, and they outscored by 23 points, so their combined score totaled 213 points. So I'm going to call Mavericks equals M, and I'm going to call the Bulls equals B. And what does it mean if the Mavericks outscored the Bulls? That means that they scored more points. So I'm actually not going to call this M. I'm going to take that back. I'm re-looking at this. And it says the Mavericks outscored the Bulls. So this is outscored the Bulls by 23 points. What does that mean? It means whatever the Bulls got, they scored 23 more points. So this is going to be B plus 23 is for the Mavericks. The Mavericks are B plus 23. It says if their combined score is 213 points, that means that we have the Mavericks plus the Bulls equals 213. So what's the Mavericks? The Mavericks are B plus 23. The Bulls are B and equals 213. So we have 2B plus 23 equals 213. I subtract 23. 2B equals 3 from 3 is 0. 2 from 11 is 9, and that's 190. And so then I divide both sides by 2, and I get B is equal to 2 goes into 19 would be 9 times, and then we have 195. So the Bulls scored, let's see, 95 points, and the Mavericks scored 95 plus 23, or that would be 5 plus 3 is 8, 9, 11, 118 points. Mavericks. Okay? All right. So we'll see you for question number 10.